Ann Coulter. Good to have you back on the programme, Ann Coulter. In Trump, you no longer trust, right?
Well, it's starting to look like everything he said about it was all me. It wasn't Steve Bannon. Bannon came in the last 2 months. Starting to look like maybe it was all Bannon. It was in Bannon we trust. I mean, as soon as Bannon is gone and banished from the kingdom, suddenly he's willing to grant amnesty, which was kind of the signature issue of his campaign.
Well, I remember speaking to you several times last year, and you told me that the reason why you got on board with Donald Trump was precisely because of his hard line on immigration, and you thought that that was the thing that was going to make him win the election. And you were right. Yes. Do you now feel betrayed by him?
Thank you. Well, we'll see what happens, but I have a blistering column going up on this later today. I mean, he's wandered off the reservation about 5 times before, by my count, during the campaign, during the transition, since he's been president, and the public has brought him back. His voters have brought him back every time, but it's getting a little exhausting, and I mean, it's starting to be, the scenario I'm seeing is, Lucy's going to move the football. Lucy's going to move the football. Lucy's going to move the football. Oh, she moved the football. I mean, how much longer can we keep him in line? It's the beginning of his 2nd year. There is no wall, and he held a press conference with members of Congress yesterday to repeatedly say he was for amnesty. Now, he said a few other good things, but if he was calling that press conference to prove, I mean, he's dealing with a personal problem he has and selling out his base, and that is this Michael Wolff book that's come out. But if he was trying to prove he wasn't senile, that press conference didn't do it.
OK, but is it possible that you're the one who's isolated, that his base, which has shrunk down to, whatever, 30% or less, that they're actually on the margins, and that what he's doing, rather pragmatically, is making a pitch for the centre ground because he needs them at the end of the year?
In the abstract, that sounds correct and very appealing. But what was so great about Trump, the candidate, and he was great, he was amazing, I've been waiting for a candidate like that my whole life, was that he always started in the center. Immigration protects working class voters. It would help the black unemployment rate. It helps people with kids addicted to opium. That used to be a Democratic issue. It used to be an issue of Cesar Chavez and Jesse Jackson and the great civil rights icon Barbara Jordan. When he says no more pointless wars, that's kind of a liberal issue. When he's talking about the trade deals, 100% a working class issue. So the normal pattern of presidential candidates, he never had to follow. He started with the popular issues that were already in the center. Now he is, from what I heard of your intro, and I agree with, I think most of it, except for the part about the New York swells wanting to put America first. No, they don't. They want to put the globalists first. But everything else was right. They want the cheap labor and the tax cuts, and that's what he's been starting with. Now, he can still come around. Like I say, he's screwed up before, but then again, he had Bannon with him before, and wow, it's striking that Bannon's pushed into the ground, and the next day he's coming out for DACA.
OK, so briefly, has he gone back to his natural base, which is in fact not white working-class Americans in the Midwest, but Fifth Avenue, the well-heeled, people like him, rich as creases?
That was really never his base, but yes, that is the great fear, and that's what the White House is beginning to look like. I mean, Trump is brilliant in some ways. He uncannily picked these incredibly popular issues: no more pointless wars, restrictions on immigration, build a wall, kill the job-killing trade deals. It was just uncanny, and no other Republican would touch it. No Democrat would touch it. So even with all of his flaws, that's why I thought he was going to win. That's why he did win. But his Achilles heel is, he really does seem to want to be liked by the New York swells. Well, if you want to, you ought to be respected instead of liked. He has the opportunity to go down as the greatest president America has ever had, or to go down as the president who wrecked America. That's the choice he's looking at, and I hope he chooses wisely.
You're also quoted in Michael Wolff's book as saying that you don't employ your own kids, which, of course, is what he did. Do you still stand by that? Was that a mistake?
Yeah, and incidentally, have had conversations with Trump as a candidate, president-elect as president. I have never revealed them to anyone. I think that was probably leaked by Trump himself, or he told his friends and somebody else told him. But I mean, that's part of the problem. And I've said the substance of that conversation widely and publicly. Right. That's a great thing about being me. I say in private what I say in public because I mean it. But yeah, no, nepotism is extremely unpopular in America. Okay. As you know, from the revolution, we kind of broke away from that whole feudal thing. We're really an individualist nation. Sorry, go ahead. Okay,
just very, very briefly. Oprah Winfrey as president. I mean, we're in Neverland when it comes to politics. Something you can see? Oprah Winfrey running for president, briefly?
She might. I mean, part of the reason I never thought Trump was going to run is the same reason I think Oprah probably won't run. A lot of big-time, big-name celebrities, they think, oh, it sounds great to be president. Actually, running isn't that much fun.